Spicy one for today. Mental health for weightlifters. Probably the most important thing for a weightlifter to consider. Alright, the glasses are coming off. Why is it so important for weightlifters? Because our sport is so monotonous and so hard on our bodies. Mental health is a little bit of a hot topic for me, especially recently, just because work has started up again now that the quarantine is over in Wisconsin. And I also started day trading stocks. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm trying to do my best to make as much as I can right now. Now, I am not a full expert on mental health. I don't suffer from any specific mental health conditions. I go in my own waves. So this video is going to be targeted more for people who also go in their own waves. If you do have an actual mental illness, you should see a doctor or a psychiatrist to deal with that. As most people already know, exercise helps improve your mood, and it helps decrease symptoms relating to depression and anxiety. Most studies on exercise show this for aerobic exercise and endurance work, but newer studies are coming out to show that strength work and weight training helps with this as well. But there's a huge difference between casual weight training and Olympic weightlifting. And then there's a big difference between beginners, intermediates, and advanced lifters as well. But if you do Olympic weightlifting, you know the toll that the Olympic lifts take on your body. They're very fatiguing, they're monotonous, and they're pretty hard on your joints. This isn't a secret. It also doesn't take me reading a study to realize that that effect on your body can also take a toll on your mental health. In our quest for strength and power, a lot of us deal with our own mental health battles, whether they're acute or chronic. And a lot of people use weightlifting to escape their daily life and their daily struggles, and that's good. It can help you deal with your mental health. But if you take it seriously and you are a full-time weightlifter, it can also take a big toll on your mental health. In terms of elite athletes specifically, I was reading an article that was able to cite from different research studies that 1, elite athletes experience broadly comparable rates of mental ill health relative to the general population, and 2, there are athlete-specific risk indicators, which include injury, concussion, performance failure, overtraining, sport type, and specifically that individual sports carried higher risk than team sports. So what is my point? Why am I bringing this up when a lot of coaches will just tell you to toughen up and deal with it? Poor mental health will negatively impact your performance. So if you are a serious lifter, you have to keep this in mind. How do I know this? Because studies have shown that long-term stress can have negative impacts on your body. You have stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which are helpful for you, especially with short-term acute issues that you are dealing with. But long-term chronic production of cortisol and adrenaline lead to negative health impacts, such as anxiety, depression, weight gain, poor sleep habits, etc. If you are dealing with any of these negative symptoms, they will negatively impact your performance. For example, if my sleep is out of whack, I am not fully recovering from my training, and then I am more likely to injure myself. Or I cannot hit my numbers as well in training, therefore not producing enough stimulus for my body to improve. Sorry, I had to go to work. Now we're back. Oh, what's this? It'll become important later in the video. So now the question is, how do you maintain good mental health specifically for the sport of weightlifting? I'm going to put a little bit of a spin on it that you might not hear normally. As an athlete, one of your goals is to eliminate all of your bad habits, all of your habits that negatively impact your performance. But what if I told you the quest for eliminating all of the bad habits is actually negatively impacting your mental health? Our body has a limit, or a capacity, if you will, for how much you can improve at one time. And we know this by looking at dieting culture. People go on these extreme diets, they really restrict themselves, and then they gain all the way back once they're off the diet. This happens because people are making too big of a change too quickly, and it is not sustainable for your body. Human beings are super efficient, and our brains are always pulling us towards survival. And oftentimes that pull towards survival can have a negative impact on our goal progression. So let's break this down and put it into perspective. Whenever I make a choice or a decision, my brain goes through this calculation to decide whether to do it or not to do it. And if there's too many things pulling me towards not doing it, I won't do it. And if there's more things pulling me towards doing it, I'm gonna do it. There are lots of different things in the equation that pull you in one direction or the other. For example, one of them is shame. Maybe I feel shameful that I'm drinking soda. And so because of that shame, I'm actually less likely to address the problem, and then I continue drinking soda. So now I'm in this mental health battle where I feel guilt and shame about drinking it, but then I continue to drink it. So it's negatively impacting my performance in the mental health aspect and in the physical aspect. So I have two choices. I can do a full breakdown of the things that are pulling me towards drinking it and address the shame specifically if that's the biggest problem, or I can just accept that I can have a soda once in a while. I don't want to tell you that bad habits are good for you, But sometimes accepting your bad habits is much better than trying to fight all of them. Your body's gonna have a natural inclination to do certain things, and you can really work hard and train your body to not be like that. But at the end of the day, that will negatively impact your mental health. And if your cortisol spiking because you're so focused on all the other things outside of your weightlifting that are affecting your performance, then your performance is going to go down naturally. It kind of sounds like I'm saying to just give up and let everything go and let yourself go in a sense. That's really not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to tell you is that it is hard to break all of your bad habits. I really don't know anyone who's broken all of their bad habits. I know of really good weightlifters who do drugs. Whoa. And I'm not talking about the steroid kind. So what should their coaches do in this respect? Should they berate them and fight them so that they never do drugs again? Do they just let it happen? Or do they try and encourage that person to slowly let go of this bad habit? Or encourage them to see a doctor, psychiatrist, whatever. Almost everything in life should be approached in moderation and treated with a balanced mindset. You will lose on either side of this if you are too forceful in getting rid of all of your bad habits, or if you're too easygoing and let yourself do whatever you want. This is the unfortunate reality of human nature, and it's something we have to address and be honest about. Now I want to take a step back and say that there are many traditional methods that are helpful in dealing with mental health issues. For example, you have meditation, you have yoga, you have exercise, which is probably what you're doing anyway, but you also have something like just deep breathing, taking a second, letting go of what's around you, and just taking deep breaths. It's very relaxing. It's very helpful for people's mental health. I think most of these things stem from Eastern religion and spirituality stuff, and now Westerners are adopting it a lot more, which is good because we can see its effects on people's mental health. Another thing that I believe helps is expanding your awareness. So, for example, if I am so aware of the world around me and I'm so involved in what's going on, my focus on certain negative aspects of my life will decrease and therefore improve my mental health. Now I want to mention too that there are drawbacks to that heightened awareness. So I could be super aware and knowledgeable and intelligent, but the reality is that may also draw my attention to other negative things. We've all heard the quote, ignorance is bliss. Sometimes stupid people do better in this world because they don't have to be stressed out and unhappy at all because they're stupid. Because they're not worrying about the things that should be worrying them. So that's something to keep in mind too. Despite having heightened awareness, being able to draw your attention away from the things that are currently stressing you out, it may bring on more stress from new stimuli. So that's something to keep in mind. I wouldn't recommend being stupid though. That's not going to help you in general. Life is so broad and complex, and when we focus on all of the little negative things we deal with, honestly, they pale in comparison to a lot of other things people are dealing with. Some people call it first world problems. It's a real thing. So regardless of whether you're a serious weightlifter or you're just a human being, you have to accept that a lot of the negative things you deal with, they have their importance, but at the end of the day, there's so much else to life that it shouldn't be your main focus. That would be expanding awareness. Those traditional methods I was mentioning are more like turning your focus away from the negative stuff. And then you also have the primary thing I was contributing to the conversation, which is accepting some of your bad habits. The point of this video isn't for me to give you a full breakdown on strategies to improve your mental health. I think I'll make videos in the future to help you with that specifically, but I wanted to give a broad overview into the topic specifically for weightlifters. Alright, it's starting to get dark. I should probably wrap it up. I also live on a really busy street where there's a lot of bars, so people are probably getting ready to go out and it's starting to get a little loud outside. So I'll wrap it up with this. If you are a serious weightlifter, be willing to sacrifice a lot to achieve your goals, but don't be willing to sacrifice your humanity, because that's what makes you who you are. And there is way more to life than just weightlifting. And I'm just an intermediate lifter, so maybe it's not my place to say all of these things, but at the end of the day, me being an intermediate lifter puts me in a good spot between knowing the weightlifting world very well and also knowing reality. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this was valuable for you and you learned something. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to hear whatever you have to say. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more stuff like this. I'll see you guys in the next one.